What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer A Day with TK. I was walking through the local Meijer today, picking up some groceries, and as usual, I decided to take a stroll through the beer aisle to see if they had anything interesting or some beers that I hadn't had, and I kind of stumbled across this pack. Now, Leinenkugel is a brewery that we've probably all heard of and all had at this point in time, but what's kind of unique about this mixed 12-pack was called Brewology Pack, and it says mix and match to create 5 new combinations. So, I'm sure we've all seen mixed 12 packs where you get 3 beers of 4 different flavors or 4 different types. Those are kind of quite common at this point in time, but this is a little something different. It looks like you're going to get 3 of each of 4 different beers. So the Honey Weiss, the Berry Weiss, Creamy Dark, and Snowdrift Vanilla Porter. But the idea here is that we're going to mix these together to create completely different beers. Now, mixing beers together to get something else isn't really a new idea. I think the first one I was probably aware of would have been, back in the day when you'd have a black and tan, so you'd have half Guinness and half Bass, or if you had a half and half, which was Guinness and Harp. Back in the day, you'd have a glass like this, and if you're lucky, you had one of these, this little device. It's called the Bass Brolly. So if you're going to make a black and tan, you could use this. You pour the first half and then you pour the beer through here so that it doesn't all mix together. And if you're doing a half and half or black and tan, you kind of have that distinct layering. So, half of it's black, half of it's light, as opposed to just all mixing together. Looks like that's not the idea here. We are supposed to mix these together. Now, I've had all of these beers individually. They're middle of the road. Leinenkugel is a brewery that I, kind of used to think highly of. Many years ago, I remember traveling up to Wisconsin. My dad lived in La Crosse, Wisconsin for 1 year, which was really cool. I went to visit over the summer, and I got to go to the Mickey's Brewery, the Heilman Brewery, which is probably one of the highlights of my, beer life. I'm checking that place out. But I also got to try Leinenkugel for the first time when I was up there. And, back then it was a regional brand. I really didn't see it in Pennsylvania. So I was kind of excited to try it. Over the years, they've been purchased by the Molson Coors group. So I guess they're in the macro category now. But still kind of a neat concept. I went on to YouTube to see if anybody did videos on these. And it looks like they did this same thing over the summer. So there were a couple of people that reviewed a summer pack. And they were kind of, I think it was like a grapefruit and some other things in it. But I'm guessing this is now their winter version because the beers we have on here are all, kind of dark in nature. So let's check it out and see what we have. Inside we have these recipe cards. Let's remove them. Try not to shank myself on the video. Smith & Wesson tactical knife comes in handy. So it looks like we have recipes for these different beers on these panels. So it also has a little blurb here. Leinenkugel Brewology. At the Leinenkugel Lodge in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, our fans enjoy our beers fresh from the tap. Somewhere along the way, a tradition began of mixing and matching these beers together to make unique and special recipes. Eventually, this idea was simply referred to as Brewology. We've taken that idea and brought it to our Brewology Pack so everyone can experience these fun and flavorful combinations. Cheers. So the first one they have is Honey Bear, and it looks like this is half of the honey Weiss and half of the Berry Weiss. So the honey and the berry mixed together. The next one is, well, there's 2 of them on this card. This is Wisconsin Polar Bear, 2/5 of a bottle of Berry Weiss, and 3/5 of a bottle of the Snowdrift Vanilla Porter. And then underneath we have Flyin Bumble Bee, half a bottle of Creamy Dark, half a bottle of the Honey Weiss. Then the other 2, Berry Black Bear, 3/5 of a bottle of Berry Weiss, 2/5 of a bottle of Creamy Dark. And then on the bottom, Dark and Snowy, half bottle of the Snowdrift Vanilla Porter, half bottle of the Creamy Dark. So you have these little cards. It's a shame this one's all chewed up already. Looks like it got half destroyed before I opened it. Let's see, let's figure out which one to try today. It's kind of weird because some of them have odd combinations, like 3/5 of this and that. So I imagine you have to do a bit of measuring. We're going to just eyeball it and hope for the best. See if we can do one of the ones that are a half and half to make it a little easier today. Half and half, it's the Honey Bear. Yeah. Then we have the Flyin Bumble Bee, half creamy dark, half honey Weiss. And then the dark and snowy, half Snowdrift Vanilla Porter, half creamy dark. Let's try the honey. Let's try the Flyin Bumble Bee. So half creamy dark, half honey Weiss. All right. Doesn't really say which order to put them in, so we'll have to just play it by ear. For the glassware, I have this sweet Hernbrow Pilsner glass. This is one of the glasses I picked up from that Coleman's Military Surplus. Kind of sucks that I got this a couple weeks ago. Hernbrow is actually one of the beers in that 12 Days of Christmas, the German gift pack, if you remember that. So it would have been sweet to have this then, but is what it is, I guess. All right, let's check out the honey Weiss first. Then we'll go with the dark beer. We're eyeballing this now, right? Compare them. Yeah, not too bad. Poured that pretty even. Surprised. I thought it was going to be terrible. All right. So we have these two beers in there. Creamy dark. Doesn't really say anything. Dark lager with a smooth cocoa taste and refreshing finish. And the honey Weiss, which says Weiss beer brewed with real Wisconsin honey. So not a whole lot to work with there. So this one is going to be the Flyin Bumble Bee. First one of these. Let's see. Mixed together. Honestly, it has an interesting color to it. The mix of the lighter honey Weiss and the darker beer. Kind of neat. It's kind of a dark amber, almost blackish. When you look at it in the light, you kind of get a reddish hue to it. Head, not much there. It's kind of minimal. I mixed it, so I don't expect a whole heck of a lot. Smells actually interesting. You do pick up like the honey notes from the honey Weiss, but you do also pick up like a roasted malt. I mean a roasted grain kind of thing from the darker beer as well. Give it a shot. Cheers. Now, first thing that jumps out is that the mouthfeel in this is quite light. I hate to say this almost verges on watery. Taste is okay. You pick up like I said, it's kind of like the smell. You do pick up the honey, but it's kind of washed out. And you do pick up kind of the darker roasty grains or the darker malt thing as well. But it also feels a bit washed out. So, you know, I don't know that you really pick up either of these flavors as much as, I mean, obviously if you drank them individually, you taste them a lot more. But I was hoping to get kind of more the nice chocolatey bit of this with the honey of this. And it's kind of there, but it's also kind of just, I don't know, watered down and not really that great. So I don't know, this one for me isn't a huge victory. I could see if you're not really a beer drinker, you don't particularly like dark beers or stuff like that, maybe this would be something for you to check out. But for me, I don't know, this is a really cool idea. It's a little something different, but at least this recipe falls short on the delivery. I'll try the other ones as well and see what they're like. But for the first one, the Flyin Bumble Bee, this would be a thumbs down. I don't know that I would go out of my way to drink another one of these. And given there's 4 other things here, I'd probably rather try one of those and even try this one again. So Leinenkugel starts off with a bit of a letdown. Really cool idea. This one just isn't particularly that good. So, you know, we'll do, like I said, I'll do the other ones the next couple of days. I'll try the other recipes. We can see how they are. If you've seen this around, let me know what you think of it. If you had the one over the summer, let me know what you think. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. And as always, if you have any comments or questions, jump in down below. Let me know what you're thinking. If you had these beers, what do you think of Leine's? You know, if you've seen these recipes, which one sounds the best? Which one should we try next? Hey, until next time, cheers.